All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this course today. We will be discussing something super important, and I believe that I have had the opportunity and the privilege to uh, support quite a number of professionals when it comes to this particular topic. I've got my notes on the side here, and I've got the slides on the screen. So I want to talk about this topic because a lot of people struggle especially when it comes to negotiation of their salary. So today, in this short um, course with myself, my name is Victor Shonde. So I'm sure you know by the time you're here. I'll be talking about salary negotiation tactics, how to maximize your compensation package. This is a skill. Negotiation is a skill. So um, you don't have or you don't need to be a salesman or uh, a business person before you or for you to master the skill of negotiation. As long as you're doing a job or you're working in a role, there comes the opportunities for you to discuss and negotiate your compensation package. And there are things that I would like to bring to your attention. If you find yourself in that position or you're thinking about, striking and opening up that conversation, either with your employer, with your HR manager, with your line manager, you need to know when and how to approach the conversation, what scenarios and what opportunities when they present themselves that you need to, go for it. So in this course, is in no particular order. I will be taking you through some of the things that you need to be mindful about, and how to make sure that you are, coming out of those negotiations with a positive outcome. Now, I must say before I get into this negotiation tactics, um, there is not a guarantee that every time you're going to a negotiation conversation, or especially around financial compensation or benefits compensation, that you come out with a financial win, or you must come out with a win all the time. But this ideas and these tips I'm going to be sharing with you today are basically to arm yourself and put you in a much more better position. It give you more uh, information and things that you need to arm yourself with when you're getting into that sort of situation. So we want you to be able to confidently advocate your value, your worth as a person. Now, why is this important, right? Like I said, quite a number of people that I have coached over the years, and even myself personally, excuse me, I've been in situations where I've had to negotiate, my pay or negotiate my salary or my compensation package. Why does this matter? The first thing is you want to increase your earning potential. As you all know, I mean, there's the salary you start earning, you've done 2 years or 3 years on the job, you have added value to the organization, you have added value to yourself, you have improved your skills and your capabilities, and of course, externally outside of the work, your expenses are always rising, right? Inflation is always on the rise, right? You want to make sure that your earning potential is able to take care of you and take you home. Your take home can actually take you home. Okay. So the only way to guarantee that you are being compensated fairly for your skills and your experience is to negotiate. Okay. Is to negotiate. You have to negotiate. The second thing that I want to talk about is um, job satisfaction. So if you're feeling undervalued, where you're feeling like, okay, maybe you've done a survey of the industry or you've spoken to people doing similar things that you're doing in your role in other organizations, and you've seen that maybe they earn more or a lot more than what you are being compensated with in your own. company, then that can lead to dissatisfaction on the job, or you can feel undervalued. Okay, but when you feel that way, or when you have that kind of information, it's not for you to worry. It's not for you to panic, or the next thing is not for you to jump ship or start looking for another job. So that's one thing I want to first to address. So feeling undervalued can lead to stress, and it can lead to decreased job satisfaction. However, if you are able to negotiate, all right, very well, it will help you to ensure that your compensation, your salary aligns with the contribution that you are making in your organization, or with your employer. And the thing is, the impact, and this is the other thing to mention, the impact of not negotiating is basically you potentially have missed opportunities, right? Over the long term, you miss opportunities over the long term, opportunities to earn more, opportunity to command more value, opportunity to increase your satisfaction on the job, opportunity to, feel that you are being paid or you are being compensated your worth. You miss those windows of opportunity, and in the long term, it might not, it might basically pile up and lead to maybe burnout or dissatisfaction or even disengagement or something like that. So it's important that you recognize and understand and appreciate the importance of why salary negotiation, why it matters. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to cover in this topic, still under this course, is preparation, how to prepare for negotiation. Now, this is important because you have to plan. Like I always say, like they say, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail, right? So if you're going to negotiate your salary, you're going to negotiate your pay, then you need to prepare for it. You need to know what exactly and why, and why are you having the negotiation? Why are you, opening up the conversation? And you need to know what exactly are you looking for. Okay, what exactly are you looking for? So the first thing under preparation is research. You need to research, explore what salary ranges um, are looking like across the industry with similar roles in companies in my area or in my specialty. Okay, so if I'm working in financial services or in a bank, and I'm working, maybe I'm doing financial crimes, or I'm doing, I don't know, data ethics, or I'm doing project management or whatever, what kind of salary ranges are being paid to people at the same level as I am in other organizations within the same role or within the same industry. Okay, it's important that you do that research, because imagine that you're going to negotiate a salary and it's obvious that what you're earning is maybe at the same level as the industry standard, or maybe even more. Then that is not a strong selling point. It doesn't mean you can't negotiate still. So let's be very clear. The fact that, okay, what the average industry salary range is also equivalent to what I'm being compensated, that still does not mean that you can't negotiate your salary. Okay, so let's bust that myth right now. Don't let anybody convince you or tell you that because your salary is equivalent to what you're being paid. If you're bringing more to the table, you're bringing more to the role, if you're contributing more to the organization, it's basically knowing what are your negotiation strengths and things that you're not taking to the room or to the negotiation conversation. So things you can check, platforms, if you want to do this kind of research, check platforms like Glassdoor. Glassdoor has a lot of information about pay scales, salary ranges, and roles and across different industries, different sectors, and also even grades and bands and all that type of stuff. Another very good platform that I recommend is PayScale. PayScale is also a very good website. Check it out, and you will be able to check what are people in my role within my industry, at my level, what are they what's the typical salary range, or what it is typical pay scale and all that type of stuff. And then the other one that I've used in the past to advise or to help other people is LinkedIn Salary Insights. So LinkedIn has this publication that they do, that you can download, and you can actually go and read about the salary insights, which basically more like is based on some sort of deep research that they do across industry. As you know, LinkedIn has a lot of information about corporate organizations across the globe. So they have that data to be able to provide you with insight around salary ranges, and also industry information generally, in terms of understanding what it is that you should be expecting, or should be like the benchmark of sorts. Okay, then the second thing that you want to think about here is, as part of your research, is to understand the full value of compensation packages. Now, so when you're doing this research, you don't just look at the salary, or don't just look at the pay. All right, you want to check things like the base salary. You want to check out for if there are bonuses that maybe they are being paid in other places that maybe it's not coming, or you're not getting paid in your own organization. You want to look at bonuses. Then you want to look at benefits, okay? Because compensation is not just about base salary or base pay. There's also benefits. Some organizations actually have a lot more benefits compared to others within the same industry or within the same sector. So you want to look at benefits, and you want to look at perks. What sort of perks do they have? So I know companies now have things like gym memberships, health club memberships, um, uh, coupon membership, like discount shopping codes and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of perks that different companies now use to keep their employees or their staff motivated. So you want to check what are those things that are available, that may not even exist within your own organization, or even if they exist, maybe there's some other things that you think that you can bring into the negotiation, that can actually give you more. And then also, the next thing, number two, if you see on the screen, is you need to know your strengths. Okay, you want to highlight your achievements. Okay, I said this earlier, that if you're going into negotiation conversation, the reason why you are doing a research around the salary or whatever is not because if you find that the same salary is what you're earning, it doesn't mean that you cannot, right? Because you want to know what are the things that you want to use in that negotiation conversation. So for example, you want to talk about, for example, what is your salary or your current compensation package looking like against the benchmark across the industry? Okay, is it higher? Is it lower? Is it on the same level? That is something you want to take into the negotiation. Your strengths, meaning what have you delivered? What have you contributed into the company between the time that you started and the time that you want to negotiate, a higher salary, a higher compensation package? Your skills that you now have, or your past experience, and also your unique qualifications. Maybe you've taken some courses, you've taken some new certification programs, you've passed some professional qualifications, and so on and so forth. You want to include that as part of your strengths, because that is what we say you would use as a way to negotiate an increase in salary. So you want to basically assess your skills, your achievements, and your unique value to your employer, to say, this is how valuable I am, you know, this is how much I contribute, this is how much I am able to contribute to our company. Okay. And the third one is you want to practice and you want to rehearse your talking points. Okay. So this is why a course like this is important before you go into a room to go and negotiate your increase in your compensation. You want to watch a video, a course like this, just to understand, okay, what are the things I need to, have I ticked, have I crossed every T and dotted every I, especially when it comes to the things I want to bring into the room, my talking, which are the talking point, and also what kind of questions can they ask me, so that I prepare answers. So you need to think about it, like in a negotiation conversation, what kind of questions can my employer or the HR manager or the line manager ask me? In fact, part of your rehearsal is to even know who you're having the conversation with and what do you think they will be interested in. Is your line manager, have they been raising something, have they been mentioning something in your, maybe your performance reviews about something specifically that you have been addressing and doing well? Or have they mentioned in passing about an opportunity or a new, a new window of opportunity within? You have to identify those gaps and those areas and those things and bring them together, and then understand the kind of questions that they might ask you, so that you prepare your answers in advance. Okay. And now the next one here is, you want to come up with an understanding of your market value. Okay, so I talked about assessing your skills, your strengths. Okay, assessing your qualifications, your experience, everything. What do you bring to the table? What's your contribution? What are you worth to our company? If I'm asking the question, okay, um, what is the, we're going to quantify your years of experience and your track record of success. Okay, so don't just focus, and this is important, don't just focus on your experience just within the organization. Also talk about areas where you believe that, based on you working in the organization, you identify places that you can now add more value based on new experiences, new knowledge, some new insight, some new skills that you've gathered, and so on, and so many information that you have, and so on and so forth. Those are things you want to bring to the table. You want to highlight your specialized skills, your technical proficiency, the industry knowledge that you now have as a result of maybe your research or your training, your certification, or you want to bring those things, because those are the things that make up your market value. And then you want to emphasize things like advanced degree, certification, relevant coursework. And this is important, because if you are going to have these conversations and you have not done these things, they might be important for you to maybe pause and do some of those things to corroborate and give you a solid negotiation power. Okay, this is very, very important. So you want to understand your market value. Okay, now let's talk about some really nice, this is important, nice strategies, tactics, effective strategies and tactics that I would really encourage you to think about. The first thing is confidence. Okay, be confident, be assertive, and be able to clearly articulate your value with conviction. This might mean that you have to maybe write it down and rehearse it a lot of times. What thing I would recommend it to people who have had to negotiate salary increases, is maybe write a pitch, create a pitch, that this is how I'm going to pitch to my boss or to my line manager or to the HR manager or to my employer, and rehearse that pitch consistently, at least 10 to 20 times. And if possible, ask somebody that is not within your organization, or somebody that is not that's not going to be, for example, in the negotiation, maybe your partner or your friend or your mentor or a colleague that is maybe has your interest and whatnot. Let them hear your pitch and give you feedback. Okay, this will increase your confidence. Okay, so this, for example, things like, you want to know, how do you frame your ask? Okay, emphasizing value instead of demand. You don't want to go in and say, oh, the reason why I'm having this conversation is because I want to demand an increase. No, you want to go forth with value. You want to present your capabilities, your skills, your contributions, your strengths. All right. You want to talk convincingly about an understanding of your worth. That is what I'm talking about. You're not going there to go there and say, okay, no, because I feel like my compensation is not as it should be, therefore I'm demanding, then you're not coming across with value. And as an employer or as an HR manager, to justify an increase in your compensation, it needs to be justified by the contribution or by the value that you are bringing into the organization. Okay. The other thing you want to think about is, for example, before I go to collaboration around confidence is you can also do something like leveraging other offers. I have done this quite in the past where I was negotiating an increase in pay, but how I did it was because I got a different offer from another organization, and I said, this is what I'm worth. This is the opportunity for me to negotiate. I love this employer. I love what I'm doing here. I don't want to go. However, this is what I'm being offered elsewhere. All right. Maybe even doing less or even doing more. But it doesn't, I mean, whatever it is, basically what it means is an increase or a better compensation package. So therefore, can we have a conversation? If you think I'm worth all of this or my contribution is still good, can you match this or can you even beat this? All right, that's a good way to, you are going with confidence and assertiveness. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to talk about under confidence is also you can create alternatives. For example, if your base salary cannot increase, you can look for ideas like things like stock options, flexible work arrangements, or maybe funding for your training or professional development budgets. And and this all come down to what I said earlier about doing your research and identifying your strengths and comparing what is available across industry. The next one is you want to collaborate. So when you are going into a negotiation, salary negotiation meeting, or a salary negotiation conversation, you want to approach the negotiation as a partnership, right? As a collaborative partner with your employer or with your organization to find a win-win outcome. Because the reason why, let's be fair, let's be honest, and be practical, okay? The reason why an employer would say yes to increase your compensation package is because they believe that you bring more to the table, that the value that you bring justifies the cost or justifies the compensation, justifies the increase in your compensation. Okay, so you want to come to the table or to the conversation with a clear understanding of this is a partnership agreement where if you increase my compensation to this is what I bring to the table, and everybody wins. Okay, so you have to approach it with a win-win mindset so that the outcome is a win for you and also a win for the for the organization. Then you want to use in this conversation, you want to use things like positive language and you want to stay solution oriented. All right. So all this come down to mindset. You can see I'm addressing mindset issues here. When you're going to that meeting, don't go with the meeting, don't go into the conversation uh, with a problem oriented mindset or a negative mindset. You want to have a positive language. You want to use positive language. Don't go in there demanding or even if you're demanding, but in terms of how you approach the conversation, you want to approach a conversation in an engaging, collaborative way. All right, meaning that you are going with a solution-oriented mindset. You are thinking about if they come at you with this challenge, you would have ideas and ways to provide a solution that address those problems that might come or arise in that negotiation meeting. And then flexibility, which is along the same lines. Be open to compromise. Don't stay uh what's the word, don't stay rigid on a point. Don't be flexible, right? Explore options that go beyond just, I mentioned this before, beyond just base salary. If your base salary is not changing, can they look at things like stock options for you? If Can they look at perks? Can they look at compensation? Can they look at commission rates? Can they look at benefits? What benefits can they add? Can they add to your training budget? There's so many things you can do, or so many things can be explored in this conversation. So you want to open yourself to as many options as possible. Okay. Moving on, beyond just strategies. Now, this is talking about handling objections and counter offers. Trust me, line managers or leaders or HR managers and employers or entrepreneurs, most of them have a skill of countering offers because they imagine how many people they will have these conversations with. So they have mastered the skill of countering your offers or giving you counter offers. when you come, because if they don't want to lose you, okay? So you need to, first thing, listen actively. So practice active listening to understand their concerns and their perspectives. Okay. And if there's anything you need to take away from the meeting or you don't have an immediate answer to, tell them, okay, that's taken feedback. I'll come back to you on that point, maybe when I know more or when I find out more, just make sure you're listening to where they are coming from. Don't just be somebody that wants to dish out everything that you have to say without taking in the feedback or taking in their concerns or perspective of your line manager or your HR manager or whoever it is that you are in that salary negotiation conversation with. Okay. And if there's anything you don't understand, you can clarify. Ask questions to clarify and to ensure that you fully understand the objection. If they are objecting, why are they objecting? If they are countering your offer, what is the reason? Okay, because that will also help you to improve in case you have to go back again and have that conversation maybe in a future time or in another time, or even if you want to go elsewhere, you will know. All right. So it's very important. And if you are able to acknowledge the concern or the objection and offer a solution and or an alternative, because I'm expecting you would have prepared in advance for these things. Like I said, you probably have an idea of some of the things you might even be coming at you with. But if you don't, it's okay as well. Just acknowledge that, okay, I recognize that. I don't have the answer. I will come or I will look into it and, uh, come up with a solution or offer you an alternative to that. So it's important that you have the ability to um, handle objections and counter offers. The other thing I wanted to mention that I've got in my note here is if you are going into these conversations, try and use practice scenarios. Okay, look at real life examples of successful salary negotiations. You can check on YouTube and search, or even check on places like the movies where you see people negotiate salaries. Second, you will see a lot of resources that people have written, and look at the kind of questions that come up in those meetings. Do a research, go to things like GPT or Perplexity or Claude, use one of the AI tools and tell them that this is what I'm trying to do and this is my role, this is the expectation, this is my research. What should I expect in terms of potential objections or counter offers? Then what suggests to me what kind of answers or what kind of solutions or alternatives I can provide. Arm yourself with a lot of that, and then practice with it consistently before you go into that meeting. Okay, now communicating your worth with confidence. I've broken this down into three things, which I must have mentioned in bits and bobs, but in this under this topic, I want to talk about it in three areas, which are preparation, clarity, and partnership. I've mentioned this in bit, like I said, but I thought this is a topic on its own and I really want to address it. When you are going to pitch or when you're going to have the conversation about a salary increase, you need to prepare. Like I said, identify your strength, practice your skills. It's a skill. So you have to rehearse consistently. Play your read pitch yourself to the mirror and see how you look. Get yourself on the phone, record and play it back to yourself and see how you sound. Is that, would you listen to yourself or would you, you know engage or be convinced by yourself? Okay, these are ideas I believe can help you. Or get somebody in the room and do it multiple times with them and let them to give you honest, objective opinions. And don't think that they're don't take criticism negatively, because it's a way to continue to improve on your salary negotiation pitch. Then, like I said, clearly articulate your value when you're pitching yourself. Emphasize the things you have achieved in the organization. Emphasize the contributions you have made, the projects you have led, the initiatives you are leading, or the outcomes you have, the great outcomes you have helped the organization to achieve, for example, and make sure you can if possible, you can quantify them or clearly articulate the benefit or the outcomes or the result or the impact that you have made when you're doing this thing. So, for example, oh, I led this project, I contributed this to this project, I did this, I was in charge of this particular initiative, I brought this idea, and this is the outcome of the idea. I delivered this particular thing, and this is what we are getting from it as the result in this company. You want to bring all those things together in a way that is cohesive, that is articulate, that is clear. Okay, that is clear. And like I said, you want to also look at this in a way whereby you are working in collaboration with your employer. You are not pitching yourself as to say, oh, because I've done all of this, then I'm demanding that you do this. No, I'm also thinking about your side, which is, I've done all of this and I'm able to do more and I'm willing to do more. But I want you to meet me somewhere in the middle so that I don't feel like I am undervalued in this organization. And I also don't want the organization to lose out in the contributions and the impact, the positive impact and the benefits that I bring to the organization. So can we meet in the middle, or can we look at or review my compensation package? A reasonable person will understand and say, okay, that makes sense. What are you looking at? That would be the next question. What do you have in mind? Or they can tell you, well, this is our budget. This is what we're looking at. Would you consider other options apart from base salary? And then you can now begin to go into all the options and the alternatives. Okay. And in terms of closing the deal, okay, you want to recap. If you offer you a deal and you want to seal it there and then very quickly, you want to recap the key terms and the benefits of the offer that they offer you, and you want to basically express your appreciation for their time and consideration, and then you want to ask them when does it confirm the timeline, okay, and any other remaining details that they need. You also want to evaluate and negotiate the offer. If, for example, you recap the terms and you realize, okay, this could be better, you can go back and say, can we look at this part and can we look at this bit, or can we do better here? Can we, you can do all of that, because all of that is that window of opportunity is what you have to close the deal. And then the other thing I always tell people is to secure this agreement in writing, so that there's no misunderstanding. Don't just say, because my HR manager said this or my line manager said this in the meeting that day, that's what we agreed when we spoke. Get it in writing. Okay. And this is how you do it. If you don't know, if they're not going to send you the email, whatever it is they've said you agreed, email it to them and say, can you confirm this is my understanding of everything we've discussed and everything we've agreed today? In response to, can you just confirm, or please let me know if I'm missing anything out? Get it documented in writing. It does help, so that when you now get the time, when the time comes to actualize that new deal, you have something to benchmark with. Is not going to be my word or your word against my word. Okay. Um, and of course, like I said, make sure that you understand and you agree the timing. Um, this is my last slide on this course. And here I want to talk about opportunities to negotiate for and make career advancement. In different organizations or different people, there are different scenarios. So there's no one size fits all when it comes to opportunities or windows of opportunity to negotiate your salary or negotiate your compensation package. But I just call out like a few of them. One is your performance reviews. So when you have performance review, you can utilize performance reviews as an opportunity to negotiate compensation increase or compensation review. It's a good way to do it, especially if you have just had a very great performance review that you prepared for and it's come out. You can then introduce, can we also look at this as part of this, or at the end of this performance review, and then book some time in the future and then prepare for that negotiation. Okay. The other thing you want to look at is, you want that potentially might present an opportunity, is market trends. So you want to be aware, or you want to stay informed about what is going on across your industry trends, salary ranges, to ensure that you are fairly compensated. Always check what is going on, how are things going, what's happening in the industry. And then, of course, when you develop yourself professionally, when you've added value to yourself in terms of training, certifications, you've mastered new experiences, you have new knowledge, or you've developed new capabilities, which is why it's important to continuously learn and develop new skills so that you can increase your value and you increase your marketability. That even if you're negotiating a salary, you're negotiating a compensation increase or review in your current organization, if you go to another organization, you know that they will jump at you, because you are marketable, you are valuable, and that is it's valuable employees that have the best compensation negotiation conversations or meetings. Okay, I hope this has been really helpful. Thank you again. If you have any questions as relates to negotiating your salary or career advancement, leave a question in the comments below, or reach out to me on victorshunde.com, and drop your comments, and definitely I will come back to you or make your calls to address the point. I'll see you again in another course. Thank you for now. Bye bye.